an hour from now, the U.S. presidential debate will commence. Even if Donald Trump seems obsessed with crowd size and Kamala Harris is used to talking over as a prosecutor and senator, however, both will not be allowed to do either. Now, and that brings us to what we know about the debate. The 90-minute debate will be held at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. It is scheduled for 9 p.m. local time at ABC News Network. And no live audience will be allowed. Microphones will not be hot throughout the debate. They will be on during a speaker's turn and muted when the other candidate is speaking. Now, this was a bone of contention for weeks as Harris was hoping to get the mic switched on throughout. None of them will be allowed to carry any props or pre-written notes. They will be given a pen, notepad, and a bottle of water. Neither will be allowed to interact with campaign staff during commercial breaks. Trump won a virtual coin flip, so he has to choose, and he has chosen to give the last closing statement. And Harris will be standing on the right of the screen. Neither is permitted to step away from their lecterns. ABC World News tonight, anchors David Moore and Lindsay Davis will be the moderators. All rules have been kept the same as the first presidential debate when Trump and then Democratic nominee Joe Biden took the stage in June. The primetime duel on ABC News will be their first and probably the only time Harris and Trump will take the same stage.
Kamala mentioned my name, I think, 21 times. She didn't mention the border. She didn't mention inflation.
And as we mentioned, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are locked in an extremely tight contest heading into their first debate. Let's get you the latest from opinion polls. A polling average by 538 in ABC News suggests Democratic nominee ahead by 3 percentage points. Now, since President Biden's exit, Harris has managed to turn around the polls. This comes a day after New York Times and CNN polls showed Trump leading Harris nationally for the first time in weeks. Now, as the stage is set in battleground state of Pennsylvania, the countdown has begun. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris will battle it out on the podium before the final war for votes on November 5th. Now, but before that happens, let's take a trip down memory lane and revisit another landmark presidential debate. The common factor between then and now, Donald Trump. Trump has been a part of presidential debate 3 times so far, against Hillary Clinton in 2016 and Joe Biden in 2020 and 2024. But this will be the second time that the Republican leader will be debating a political rival who is a woman. Ahead of the high-stakes showdown today, here's a look at some of the key highlights from 3 rounds of Clinton-Trump presidential debates back in 2016.
She doesn't have the look. She doesn't have the stamina. I said she doesn't have the stamina. And I don't believe she does have the stamina. To be president of this country, you need tremendous stamina.
As soon as he travels to 112 countries and negotiates a peace deal, a ceasefire, a release of dissidents, an opening of new opportunities in nations around the world, or even spends 11 hours testifying in front of a congressional committee, he can talk to me about stamina.
If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women.
We have never in the history of our country been in a situation where an adversary, a foreign power, is working so hard to influence the outcome of the election. And believe me, they're not doing it to get me elected. They're doing it to try to influence the election for Donald Trump.
We have a country with tremendous numbers of nuclear warheads, 1,800, by the way, where they expanded and we didn't. 1,800 nuclear warheads, and she's playing chicken. Look, Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
Ahead of the debate, many experts and leaders are calling it a make or break moment for Harris as the vice president takes on a seasoned presidential debater in Trump who has done this before on 3 separate occasions. As Kamala Harris becomes the second female presidential nominee to debate Trump, former Democrats' presidential nominee Hillary Clinton has a few words of advice for the 59-year-old. In an interview, Hillary Clinton suggested that Harris go on the offensive to hit out directly at her political rival's weaknesses. On her advice to Harris, Clinton said she should not be baited. She should bait him. He can be rattled. He does not know how to respond to substantive direct attacks. The incumbent vice president is not getting advice only from the blue team, but also from her rival camp. Former New Jersey governor and Republican leader Chris Christie also has some insight for Harris, and it can be summed up in 2 words: charm and disarm. Christie played a critical role in helping Trump prepare for his presidential debates in 2016 and 2020, before becoming a critic of the former president. Christie says that Harris needs to do only 2 things. He said, first, Harris should look into the camera during the debate and charm the Americans by showing them there is another way to lead. The Republican leader also advised Harris to not engage with Trump's attacks. Christie explained, and I quote here, Harris's refusal to engage with Trump back and forth will get under his skin. But this will not be the first time Kamala Harris is up for a crucial debate. Back in 2020, the vice president took the podium as Biden's running mate against Trump's number 2, Mike Pence. Here's a snippet from the VP debate from 4 years ago.
Let's talk about packing the court then. Let's talk about the fact. Yeah, I'm about to. So the Trump-Pence administration has been, because I sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Susan, as you mentioned, and I've witnessed the appointments for lifetime appointments to the federal courts, district courts, courts of appeal. People who are purely ideological.
This presumption that you hear consistently from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that America is systemically racist. And that, as Joe Biden said, that he believes that law enforcement has an implicit bias against minorities is a great insult to the men and women who serve in law enforcement.
As we count down to the pivotal moment in the U.S. elections, the customary presidential debate between a Republican leader, Donald Trump, and the Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris, let's hear what political experts have to say.
You used the word pivotal earlier, and I think that's a very appropriate word. This is either candidate can make or break themselves in this one debate tonight. And the advice from Hillary Clinton to attempt to rattle Donald Trump, I would not follow that if I were the vice president, simply because I believe that is what Mr. Trump is ready for. He is coming into this prepared for exactly that. And if you have noticed, he has been relatively silent the last couple of weeks. I believe, quite frankly, he's practicing.
Well, what I'm looking for, interestingly, is to see what can Kamala Harris do in terms of distancing herself from previous situations where she was looked at as being just a facade, where she was silent on pretty much all of the issues. We all want to know what she thinks, what she proposes. Finally, yesterday, her website was updated to give answers. As has been said, we know pretty much where Trump comes from. We know his mannerisms. We know what his views are because he's constantly interviewed. He's constantly in the news making his statements or short little snippets. And Kamala Harris has been virtually silent. So this is what's really important. We all want to know what she says. We all want to know her mannerisms because that is what the debate is. And I might add, I'm disappointed, as are a lot of people disappointed, that there are not and probably are not going to be any more debates between the two of them. We still have a substantial amount of time, and early voting is going to start by mail or in person within the next few weeks, if not already. And it is crucial to hear how they interact with each other. And as it's been said, it is entertainment.
Kamala Harris, when she was asked about, well, what do you think of Donald Trump's comments that you're not really black? She just basically said, that's the playbook, move on. She just has brushed it off. They have, in fact, tried to make him smaller rather than this larger than life character. Now, this is, of course, the test in the debate when you're standing on stage with him. How do you continue to do that? And I think that one of the things that she's going to have to do is obviously maintain her poise, but also not get drawn into the pig wrestling. I mean, it's in Donald Trump's interest to drag her down, to get her into the name calling, whereas she needs to be able to show that she is strong and forceful.
We see that after the horrific assassination attempt. We see that at his Republican convention acceptance speech. Former President Trump really believes that this is that he has an important role to play in the future of American politics, and that he is the only one who can do this. And that message is compelling, right? Not just to his core supporters, but potentially to undecided voters in battleground states who maybe see the legal troubles, the language, the attacks, all kind of as a lot of noise, and are kind of focusing in on, well, who will better represent my interests